I just met with Mr. President. Following my press conference on Monday, I decided to come and inform Mr. President officially of my aspiration to run for the office of the President of the Federal Republic of Nigeria. Because Mr. President is the leader of the party, the APC, because he is the President of the Federal Republic of Nigeria, which office that I intend to handle after 2023. And again, that I use the opportunity to discuss issues relating to our party, especially how the party was formed. President Muhammad Buhari, then former head of state, led the CPC into the merger of what became today APC, followed by Asuwaju Ahmed Tinubu, who led the ACN, and myself, Okorocha, who led the APGA, and other leaders of NPP. This is the four legs upon which the party today called APC is standing. I use the opportunity to remind Mr. President of how it all started and for us to keep the history of this party alive. I also made him to understand that in the next coming convention, these four pillars should be carried along in all our decisions. For without these four pillars, there wouldn't have been anything called the APC today and the victory that followed after. I also use the opportunity to intimate Mr. President of what is going on between me and economic and financial crime, the EFCC, and the harassment and intimidation that I'm getting from the EFCC literally on a daily basis. And to inform him that I have court judgment and 2 court orders, 3 different judgments at different forums, which stops the EFCC from harassing, intimidating, and all that. The EFCC have refused to obey the law. And so I have to inform Mr. President that EFCC should be meant to obey the law that established them. And without the law, there would have been an EFCC. And the desperation with which they go about any affair that concerns me should stop. And I reminded Mr. President that I recall that some time ago, the EFCC had claimed that they recovered the sum of 5.9 billion from my account, which the court found out to be untrue. In other words, they were biased and they prejudged me. On that basis, the court ruled and ordered that they should not any further more interrogate and harass me. This has also not been obeyed. The court ordered the EFCC to release my international passport. The EFCC have refused to obey. The court gave damages to me for the sum of 500 million naira for EFCC to pay. EFCC have not paid that. Rather than doing that, on the day of my declaration, EFCC went on the press to announce that I'm being prosecuted for some criminal charges of 2.9 billion and no more than 5.9 billion. So I said, as the President of the Federal Republic of Nigeria, and one that stands on the side of law, that he should bring this attention to the EFCC. And despite the effort by the Office of Attorney General to make EFCC reasons and obey court judgment to release my travel documents and stop the harassment, the EFCC have refused. So I think there's some kind of desperation on the side of EFCC, and I don't know who might be causing this, but it is appropriate that I do let them know of the injustice that is going on with me as regards the EFCC. I also discussed on the need to strengthen our party, the APC, and to make sure that it should be a grassrooted party, as we had ab initio agreed as founding fathers, that our party must be strong at grassroots level and not a hanging party at Abuja. So everybody must go to his village and booth and promote the party to come. And I'm able to ascertain from Mr. President that the days of people sitting in Abuja here and clinching power without getting the support of the masses of the people will not be tolerated in APC. I'm very happy with that statement, and I hope we shall keep to that. Thank you. Mr. President said he will take up the matter, especially when he saw the judgment. He said he will take up the matter and find out what is actually happening, and I hope he will do so. And I believe he will do that. I suspect so. Because when I say it is politically motivated, means that some people are instigating the EFCC to do this, which is wrong. All I'm asking from EFCC is to please obey the law. And you cannot refuse to obey the law on one side and then go for the law on the other side. So if FCC obeys the law, it will be the best they can do for the image of EFCC and the image of the Federal Republic of Nigeria. But as to who particularly, the person must be such a coward who doesn't want to expose himself. And there are a lot of people like that who wouldn't want to expose themselves but stay under doing all kinds of evil. I call them cowards because they cannot stand up to their what they believe in. My suspicion at this point is immaterial. What is more important is that EFCC should obey a simple court judgment and court order, as the case may be. Well, it's not for the governor to decide who will become president. We're talking about the people. Even the governor himself will depend on the people to do so. My first consultation, after forming Mr. President now, is to go to Nigerians and ask them if they will want me to be their president. And that will be my next line of action. And of course, I'll visit the 6 geopolitical zones and inquire from them if they think I'm fit and proper to be their president. And if they consider that, that will go a long way. But what is important at this moment, why I came out to even dream of becoming or running for the office of the president, is because of the mood of the nation. I may not be the appropriate president 20 years ago when I first ran. Maybe I will not be the appropriate president 20 years to come. But the mood of the nation caused that somebody that possesses my qualities and credentials should be made to lead this country. Not for self-aggrandizement, because this is a mistake most people make. They think that when you want to run for president, there's something in there for you. I don't know what others' ambition is. What is driving me is my vision and passion to make great this nation. It's my vision and passion to make sure we strengthen the unity of this country. It's rely on my passion and vision to create wealth for this country with my business experience that might be enough resources to engage the use of this land. That issue of insurgency will be a thing of the past. These are some of the areas. This is my passion. But one part of me, the carnal part of me says to me, listen, must you go and be president? But that passion and vision is what is driving me into this aspiration of wanting to be president of Nigeria. One of the duties of a president is to protect the law of the land. And when an issue comes to issue of judgment, is duty incumbent on the government of the day to ensure that justice is done. I came to demand for justice, that it should prevail. And as the custodian, as the leader of our nation, he should be meant to know that such is going on. I didn't come here to say, I'm not asking that I don't want to be investigated by EFCC or harassment or what. That's not the issue. That there's judgment on the ground. There's judgment and there's order of court that I'm asking Mr. President, who appointed the EFCC, to recall that there was the law that established EFCC. And if that law is good to make somebody EFCC, that law should be obeyed too. So I'm not asking Mr. President to speak on matter. I'm talking about judgment of the courts, which we all swore to uphold the Constitution of the Federal Republic of Nigeria. Well, I want to tell you about what happened in the case of Uche Nwosu, who by happenstance and by natural design became my in-law. He became my in-law as an adult. And as a man who is standing on his own, wanting to run his own family. I wish Uche would have spoken on this matter himself, but he must be told that the case in question was an issue of abduction. And the police has confirmed that the policemen that went to the church in mask and hood that abducted Uche were police from the government house, and they were under the directives of the government and the governor of the Imo State to go and carry out that unholy act, which almost saw that gentleman a dead man. Again, I've met the police, the Inspector of Police on this matter, and I've inquired to know where is the justice. But I've been told that the Shaba, who is the CSO, DSP Shaba, who is the CSO to the governor, has been arrested by the police. But the question is that I also learned that he has been long released. I'm also asking, where is the justice? But also I'm told that the report has come to the presidency. I'm still waiting for what this justice will say concerning this great act of inhumanity to man. Recall that Uche Nwosu was abducted and his clothes removed and handcuffed, sent to the whole world just to dress this great sin. This is politics played too far and must be condemned. So whatever it is, when it goes beyond the ordinary, the president of the nation must be made to know what is happening around his government. And that's precisely what we're doing. The insecurity, the South region, I always say to people, wherever things are not working well, hold the leadership responsible. I was the governor of Imo State for 8 years, and within that 8 years, there was absolute peace in that land. The IPOB did exist, and all these agitational forces did exist. It's about the poor handling by the state government that orchestrated this to what it is today, that has left many dead and has left the whole nation in confusion and showing some kind of ethnic declines that seem to divide the Igbos from others. It is pure handling. If I remain the governor of the state, at this time, you won't hear what you are hearing. So it is poor handling. The IPOB gentlemen are young men, our sons and daughters. And let no Igbo man tell you that these young men are not our sons and daughters. They are our children who believe that the Nigerian nation does not like them. Our children who believe that they have been marginalized in terms of infrastructures, appointments, and they've been going on with these songs for a very, very long time. They believe this, but we're able to assuage them and give them confidence that things will get better. And that was brought in when they formed the new leadership under Kano that excited the whole thing into what it is today. But there was absolutely no need to have handled the IPOB matter the way it was handled. In the first place, bringing the Air Force and the Army into the matter, raiding from the air, was wrong and completely wrong. Asking the Air Force to take a fighter jet to go to war in Masetra Zone to fight young men, and that was wrong. Just as it is also wrong for these young men to have gone to the police headquarters and shooting and killing people. That I don't support any of that either. But what I'm talking about, approach and handling was the major mistake that's made. Today, they have turned out to be terrorists. But for me, I don't see them as terrorists. I see them as still our children who have not been properly educated on the happenings. To an Igbo man now, who has not eaten in the morning or who has fined 1 square meal a day, he thinks the federal government and government is responsible. Maybe he does not know that his counterpart in Katsina have stayed for a whole day without food. So this is a point of education. That's why we're trying to create this awareness before the people and let them do. So issue of IPOB is neither here nor there. It's a matter of handling, and state government must take responsibility for all that. And you see, it's worse in Imo. Why is it not in Abia? Why not in Anambra, Ebonyi? You hear very minute things happening there, but the headquarters is Imo State. You forgot I was called Okorocha for this reason. You forgot I was the young men said they were going to kill my parents, even as a governor. I engaged them. I made most of them surrender back their arms through my Imo State pardon and amnesty program. It's anytime things are not working, please hold the leadership responsible in that particular state or that particular community. Leadership is everything. That's what I'm saying. The activities that went on later called for that, but it was a needless action to have even started, something that you can handle and not allow it to escalate. If the federal government made them to call them terrorists, it's the state government that made the recommendations and created that image that presented the boys as terrorists.